Have you ever played a board game? Sometimes we can play with something really simple like a ball, and other times we want to make something much more elaborate to have fun and play. That's the board game. Board games are super old. They come from places like ancient Egypt, ancient Mesopotamia, and ancient China. These are all games that have been around for 5,000 years or 4,000 years. The basic board game has a board with shapes, colors, patterns on it. And the way that the board game is designed determines how you play the game. Candyland was invented in 1949 by a woman who had polio, a disease that people were really frightened of. She invented it while she was sick as an idea for a way that children could occupy their time. Children who were healthy could stay in and not catch polio, and children who unfortunately caught polio and were sick could escape to a beautiful land of candy. Look at how the artists create beautiful detail in this game. How do you play a board game? Well, each person has a player piece. You might have a spinner or you might roll a die. I just rolled a 3, so my player goes 1, 2, 3. The next player rolls the die. They got 3 too, so they will go 1, 2, 3. We're on the same spot. The first player rolled a 2, so they will go 1, 2. Ooh, that's a good spot. The next player will roll the die, and they got a 5, so they will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to be the person that makes it to the end of the game first, without landing on any bad spots. So here we are at the end. Who's going to win? Oh, it looks like M got 5 spots for the win. Watch out for Skillery Scalery Alligator. If you land on that spot with his teeth, you'll have to go back 3. You might remember playing Chutes and Ladders. That's another game where you start at number 1 and you learn to take turns. You learn to experience the thrills of climbing a tall ladder when you get lucky, and you learn to experience the disappointments of going down a really long slide. The term back to square one comes from this game. It means you have to start from the beginning all over again. Such is life, just like a board game. It's inspired by an old game called Snakes and Ladders from India. Board games are created in a number of styles. It might be one large picture or map, or lots of little shapes that combine. There might be 3-dimensional parts. They usually have a theme. This one is called Forest Friends with really cute animals. Sometimes they're very simple and graphic. Look at how the illustration style of Nina Chanel Abney works so nicely for this game of Uno. While it's not a board game, it's a card game, it still needs great graphics to engage the players. I've been inspired by teachers and educators online and artist authors like Mo Willems to create a board game with you. So I like to start with a pencil, and I'm using the inside of a cereal box here. My pencil will help me decide where do I want my game pieces to start, and I made a large shape. Where do I want my game pieces to end? Make another large shape. And then where do I want my path to go? I made a line with my pencil. So it's kind of like a snake with a head and a tail. So now I'm going to get a marker and go over these parts that I like. I can go over and make that shape bold for the beginning as well as the end. And then I can actually draw a line to the left and the right of my pencil line. So here I am going along one side of that snaky line until I get to the end. And then I will go along the other side of that pencil line so that it looks kind of like a sidewalk. I'm taking my time to make sure that my path fits on the board and stays nice and wide for my game pieces to fit on them. I'm going to add lines to make spaces. You can use dots or other shapes, but here I'm using the sidewalk style. Once I've gone over it in marker, I can erase those pencil lines. And now that I've gotten my shapes out, I can start to think about my theme. What's the idea behind my game? I decided I'd really like to start my game in an egg. And I thought, why not make this about being a bird? So I'm adding a nest at the beginning and a new tree house at the end. I can think about what it would be like to be a baby bird. What do I want? I can have worms fed to me. Maybe that's a good spot to get a worm or a grub. Yum, yum. So I'm going to say that if you land on a worm, you get to move forward one spot. I like how on board games they write the name of the game on the board. I came up with the name Bird Brain. And now I've added tons more color and detail. I've made some bad spots where another baby bird brother or sister takes my food. And eventually I have to live in my own tree. I think it's gonna be a fun game. You can use all kinds of things like tape or drawing to make your game. You can use whatever colors you like. You can build game pieces out of things you have at home or some clay. You can use collage and cut pictures you want for your game. And your game can be about anyone or anything. Maybe you start in humble beginnings and make it to the Oval Office. In any case, you can celebrate if you win or if you lose because you made this game.